Hi everyone, my name is Arif Kemal Karaca. I am from the University of Afyon Kocatepe, and today I would like to share our project with you. This study will explore the educational challenges faced by migrant students in primary schools by comparing teachers' experiences in Italy and Türkiye. Next slide, please. So let's talk about the purpose and scope of this project. First of all, as you know, migration has become an increasingly significant problem in today's world. Therefore, the classrooms that we have now have become increasingly multicultural and multilingual. It also requires our teachers to be able to respond to these situations accordingly. Hence, we acquired responses from 78 teachers, primary school teachers in total. There are 51 responses from Italy and 27 from Türkiye. As you can see below, we used a qualitative research design with open-ended questionnaires, which allows our teachers to respond more freely and describe their experiences more effectively. We also used thematic analysis, which allows us to use certain themes to divide our concepts so that we can better describe them later on. Next slide, please. So to talk about the research focus, as I said before, we divided our findings and responses into three separate areas. The first one focuses on teachers' professional preparation, skills, and emotional well-being. I call this one the intellectual skills of our teachers. It focuses on intellectuality, like skills, emotional well-being, professional preparation, because, you know, our teachers and their abilities are things that they have as intellectual abilities. So we focus on that in the first area. In the second one, we examine classroom practices, language integration, and communication with migrant families. This is more of the psychological part in our research. We focus on how they feel. We focus on how their families interact with us, with our teachers, and how language can be integrated within the classroom. In the third area, we try to explore broader institutional issues like governmental policies, educational equity, or policy recommendations. This structure obviously allows us to better analyze our teachers' experiences from both countries. Hence, we can get a better perspective in a more simple manner. Next slide, please. So let's talk about what we found out according to those responses. First, teachers from both countries mentioned that their university education is not adequate enough to prepare them for multicultural classrooms. So almost all of them from both countries said that their education is not adequate enough for a multicultural classroom. Almost all of them were unhappy about this fact. Second, teachers adapted their teaching by simplifying language, using visual materials, cooperative learning, and differentiated instruction. They all use some kind of complementary material or method to adapt to this migrant challenge. And they also emphasized the importance of creating inclusive classroom environments and maintaining communication with migrant families. They all emphasized this point as well. Finally, in the third area, we discovered that teachers agree that inclusion cannot depend only on individual teachers. So the institutions that they are part of have to be a part of the process. If not, then it will be even more difficult for the teacher, causing distress, other complexities, and psychological stuff that we don't want to experience. They highlighted the need for stronger institutional support, cultural mediators, improved teacher training, of course, and inclusive educational policies. Next slide, please. So to compare Italy and Turkey, they both, to be honest, had similar responses to our questions. So two teachers in both countries reported language barriers, insufficient preparation, like, we said, the university education is not enough for all of them. And there is a need for greater institutional support. All of them also mentioned that. However, one interesting fact surfaced after receiving those responses. Italian teachers seem to be more frequently emphasizing the importance of cultural mediators and institutional support, whereas the Turkish teachers focus more on adapting their own classroom practices and or relying on peer support. So basically, Turkish teachers seem to be more individualistic in their desire to improve, whereas the Italian teachers seem to focus more on the greater picture and the institution itself. Next slide, please. So, what are our recommendations? We have three main recommendations based on our findings. First one, teacher education programs should provide more practical preparation. Since our teachers say that, university education is not adequate enough, then surely more practical solutions should be used. Second, schools should strengthen the institutional support by providing these permanent psychologists, mediators, or multidisciplinary teams so that our teachers don't feel alone and are actually not alone in handling these problems. Finally, the third recommendation is educational inclusion should be viewed as a shared responsibility. It should involve teachers, schools, families, universities, policymakers, everyone in the process should be involved in these situations. Everyone should try to solve them together, hence, creating a supportive effect, a psychological effect, both a psychological and a practical effect, hence enabling us to better our classrooms, right? So next slide, please. Let's talk about what we have experienced after making this presentation and research. Let's talk about our strengths first. This one definitely allowed us to work together with people from different countries, see their perspectives, and use those perspectives to compare the responses that we got from our teachers. Second, practical recommendations were really key here because we got a generally good group, such a group that everyone had practical ideas. Since they were so practical, it was more easy to implement those things. Third one, international collaboration for us was, I think, very important for this project because since we are talking about migration, we need different ideas. Since migration is such a global issue, we need different perspectives. For future improvements, we could have definitely done with a larger sample size. Since we only got 78 responses, you may say it's big, you may say it's small. It could have been bigger, right? Because 100 responses are always better than 78 responses. Second of all, even if you got more, we could have done more genuine interviews, or let's say follow-up interviews, hence allowing us to get, more in-depth answers from our teachers. We could also more participating countries, right? More different countries. For example, we could have France, Germany within the group. If we did that, of course, we would have had different countries and different migration policies involved in the project, hence allowing us to, explain this from many perspectives instead of just the perspective of two countries. Next slide, please. Even through all that, it was fun for us, and I thank you and we thank you for watching this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it because we did. And my name is Arif Kemal Karaca, and I wish to see you in other projects. Bye.